Welcome to stage 2 of the Saudi Tour. There's another flat day in prospect, but the wind is set to be a major factor on the road from Winter Park to Shalal Siliat Rocks. Race leader Dylan Groenewegen was supreme in the sprint yesterday, but his Jayco AlUla team may not have it all their own way today.
Yeah, a start like this is always really good, also for the team motivation. I know that you are really strong and everyone was in a really good shape, and yeah, we did a lot of work yesterday. Hopefully we get some help today, but I think it's a totally different day with also some wind. We have also a really strong team for that kind of races, but the final will be really hard, and hopefully we are there for another win.
Dusan Rajovic was the best of the rest on stage 1, but Bahrain Victorious have a couple of other tricks up their sleeve.
We have to be careful of the wind. Like last 30k, it's a side wind, like so strong. So it will be hard to have a good lead out today. So we'll try to do something with Johnny.
So you're going to go with Jonathan Milan rather than yourself?
Yeah, we'll try how it's going to be today. But Johnny will be the leader today.
Stage 2 has a similar profile to yesterday, 184 kilometres with no major difficulties on an anti-clockwise loop around the Sharan Nature Reserve. The wind is blowing from west to east, so there will be crosswinds, especially on the final run-in to the finish line in Shalal. Well, the day's two breakaway riders, Enikuits Asparen of Euskaltel Euskadi and Manabu Ishibashi of JCL Team Ukio, had actually been caught by the time the live broadcast began. Several teams on the front of the peloton, but the pace was fairly leisurely, with the riders ploughing into a headwind at this point. Groenewegen just tucked in at the back of the pack. John Degenkolb was also looking relaxed as the peloton wound their way past some spectacular scenery. But even when the racing isn't full on, you have to be focused at all times. Poor old Kenneth Van Rooij crashing for the second time in as many days. Meanwhile, 4 teams were sharing the pacing duties ahead of a potential sprint. Cofidis, Jayco AlUla, Uno-X and Bahrain Victorious. The wind also whipping up the sand and making it one very tough day in the saddle. A couple of the Saudi hopefuls ended up losing contact, with the pace still oscillating between just 20 and 30 kilometres an hour in this block headwind. However, things began to ramp up, approaching a key left-hander on the road back to Shalal.
It is the race until the corner with about, I guess, 30 kilometers to go. I don't know exactly how far. We turn left straight into crosswind, and from there on I think it will be full gas to the line, and I don't expect a group bigger than 20 guys to arrive.
As Max Walscheid predicted, it was a fast and furious finale. Marcus Hansen was one of the first to drop in the white jersey, followed by Peo Goicoechea in the blue. And with the pace suddenly surging above 60 kilometres an hour, the echelons began to form. Groenewegen was safely in the front group, but Rajovic was caught out in red, and just look how hard he was fighting to get back. With 9k to go, Mathias Norsgaard attacked for Movistar, the Danish giant opening up a small gap on the Groenewegen group. Rajovic kept battling, but he was eventually dropped for good. And so too was Pascal Ackermann, who hasn't found his form quite yet. Norsgaard swept up inside the last 2 kilometres as they prepared for a long drag to the line.
Cees Bol is ready. Has he gone too early? Cees Bol goes. Jonathan Milan goes. Here goes Groenewegen. Jonathan Milan. Bahrain victorious. Groenewegen challenges on the right-hand side. Kicks hard. Who gets it? On the line. It is a photograph. Bahrain victorious take the win. Jonathan Milan is the stage winner.
What a superb effort from Jonathan Milan to take just his 3rd victory on the road. The 22-year-old is one of Italy's hottest talents, but his success so far has come predominantly on the track, with world and Olympic gold in the team pursuit. Milan beating Groenewegen and adding to his 2 wins at last year's Crow race.
Last year, it was my first year here, and I say, this year, next year's this race can looking for some stage. So, yeah, it was my goal, and okay, I did it. I make it.
Milan taking it ahead of the 2 Dutchmen, Groenewegen and Cees Bol, with Norwegian Ellen Blikra 4th ahead of 2 German Maxes, Kanter and Valscheid. Groenewegen holds on to the leader's green jersey by just 6 seconds. Milan jumps up to 2nd place ahead of Valscheid, Bol and Kanter. The race leader also increases his advantage in the points classification. He is now 12 points ahead of Milan in the battle for red. Milan takes over from Hansen as the best young rider. He is 13 seconds ahead of a host of other guys, led by Antoni Lopez at Abetsuko. Hansen does, however, remain in the blue jersey as the race's most active rider. Well, after a wild desert sprint in the westerly wind, the road ramps up tomorrow on the road to Abu Raqqa, so do join us then, and thanks for watching.